Okay, today we are going to repair a throttle position sensor, and this is or abbreviated as TPS. If you get like poor idling or an error code, you might want to, and when you step on the gas and it's not revving up correctly or hesitating or one of those symptoms, well, if you find this video, you might be at it anyway. It's actually pretty easy, and I'm going to show you how to open them and clean them and then strengthen them, and using simple tools. I'm going to use like a small flat screwdriver. I have a bunch of screwdriver right here, but if you have them, you can probably get something that you'll be able to take this out. If you see this ring right here, see that, all that around here, it's actually it's like a sink, and it's sink into this right here. So if you actually pry all these surrounding right here, you'll be able to get that off. There's a groove right here that it sits into. I'm going to take it off the camera a little bit so I can bring it to closer to me so I can get it out. So bear with me for 1 second. It is a little tricky to get all that groove because it sits in the groove. I have to find a thing right here. Actually, hang on, I'm going to pause the video because it will take me a little bit to get this off. Probably like a 2 minutes thing. Anyway, I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back with it. Okay, so I got it out, and it looks something like this here. I'm going to bring really close. You see these? It kind of flare out, and that's what sits in the surrounding groove right here. Okay, it is kind of dark. I'm going to get a little flashlight so that way it'll be a lot better. I'm going to try to see if I can shine it. I'll probably put it right here. Maybe it'll be easier. Sorry, I'm working in the dark here. So, okay, if you look at it, it's really simple. Okay. There is 2 lines here that connects it together, and it acts like a potentiometer. When you press that up, it makes the like there's a band, 2 bands of carbon. Like, I don't know what material they use, but if you know, submit a comment below. Maybe I'll learn something from it. But as far as I know, it's like a band of carbon around there. And if you look at the center here, this is where it sits. Your throttle body, your I think they call it a wing or something, where the flap that opens up and out to let the air in. Well, it has a little groove where it sits into here, and you see these right here. There's 2 little, see that? There's 2 little, like a feet like, and that's where it goes into there. So what you want to do, okay, what you want to do is to press that feet towards a little bit. Just a little bit, okay? That way it strengthens the feet here. And what you need to do is see these 2 feet right here. That's what I was talking about. They're actually separating. You see that? If you really look really close, it actually separates. And they're little tiny feet in them. I don't know. I think I counted like 6 of them in there. 7 maybe. Anyway. Press it right here. On the part right here. Because I'll show you in a minute how they sit. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is where the round part here, if you look really close, there's 2 rings right here. That's where it actually sits, and it's a very precise thing because as the throttle body spins, when you press on the gas, that's what it does, and it adds more power resistance. That's what that is. And what it does is it actually gives you the resistance to the computer, and from that the computer knows how much I believe the lower the resistance is, the lower for the lower. I'm not sure on that one, but let's say example, higher resistance would be higher revving, lower resistance would be lower revving, I guess I would say, or vice versa. The other one, usually in this world they do them backwards. But anyway, so all you do is just take it and just clean this out right here. You need Q-tip and some alcohol and just rub that around here. Okay? Rub that lightly. You see this little gunk right there? And then use the dry side and add that in. You can see the electrical right there. And if you match them, I'm going to blow that out. You match them from here, these two, with these two thing, like the feet, like, oh, I forgot to clean that as well. Clean the 2 feet as well. I get a new just lightly. You don't need to do much. Most of the time, if you see corrosions in here, then that means the seal. You see this band right here? That's the seal. And you see, if you look really close, there is corrosions all around there. That means air had leaked in. So this would has to be sit in perfectly and nicely. Make sure to seat them in correctly and clean the band around here afterward. I'm gonna wash the you see the rubber O-ring right here? I might just use a new one because this kind of messed up. If I find the right one, then I'll use it. If not, I have to wash this and put it back again. But other than that, that's it. That's all you have to do. Pretty fairly easy and simple. And you don't really have to buy a new one. And then check your, see these 3 prongs right here? Check to see if they're connection. You would need a multimeter to do those. But this is not about that. This is just to see if you you can check it. I mean, there's only 3 here. There's only 3 prongs here, and you can put it on your ohms, and you can do that. Like I said, there's not videos about that anyway, because it would take me a little longer to get my checking and everything. But anyway, measuring your ohms. So this is right here, and see the corrosions right there? I just took some out right there. There is a little corrosion in there. So that means there was a little air leak in here, but this wasn't bad. I just replaced a new one, but if you have a new one, you can do it. Even with the new one, I don't trust it. I actually do the feet repair, those 2 feet, I call them. I just push them forward so they can sit. And I'm going to show you really close in the camera. If you drop this down here, the 2 feet right there sits against there. You see that? It rubs against there. And when this turns, it rubs against it, if you look at it. And that's all it does. And that's where it connects from one power to the other to give the resistance. So it's sort of like a radio dial, your volume on your radio. Pretty much the same way. But in this case, I don't know what the ohms on here. You can probably search that up for the ohms measurement on that, and you will know. But for this case, for this here, I'm just cleaning them, refurbish them more like it, and then that way you can have it back again, and make sure to sit centrally, because see how they have this ring and they cut this groove right here. See, there's all groove. What it actually sits down is in there, right there, right here, and that's why I had to step away from the camera a little bit to make sure to get it off, because it takes a little bit. And actually, I didn't use a screwdriver. I used one of these computer thing, if you have them, or maybe a dental peck could work too, because it's really small, and you have to pry them on the side here like this, little by little by little, and then it will come out. And then if you want, you can take it and press it back out a little bit, so that would be a little tighter for you when you put it back, when you press it in. And it'll go pretty much the same way, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this a little bit stronger, because then I don't have to worry about it from contacting. But like I said, don't do it too much, just a little bit. But in my case, I don't really care. You can always bend it back if you want. But in my case, make sure to bend them both evenly, okay? I have another one. So in my case, I don't really care. But for you, I wouldn't suggest to press it too much. Would be a little bit. That's it. They're very fragile. They look like 2 feet. You noticed? And they rub against it. So like I said, they're very fragile. They're actually single-stranded. So be careful on that. And drop it in, and then drop it from in this side, and then seat it in the center. Once you find that center, then you see them both rubbing against, like a, I don't know if you ever seen like inside of a mold or whatever. They're pretty much like that, like a, if you've ever seen inside of alternator, you see these little 2 feet rub against it. Rub against the copper thing that makes the motor spins around, that distribute the electricity. Well, in this case, it's pretty much the same principle as well. But anyway, you would put this back right here in the center, make sure it's centered, and then press that back. So that way it floats in the center again, like what I'm doing here. And make sure to test that, to test your resistance. In my case, that's it. It went back right here. It didn't take much at all to press that back, to be honest. And you can see it moves back and forth. Yeah. But that's it on that. Because now look at it, the groove sits perfectly right back to where it belongs. And I'm just pressing it to make sure it seats correctly. But you don't really have to, because on this one here, they made it pretty good. They actually made it in a way that it's pretty nice and easy to put it back. But like I said, in this ring here, I'm gonna clean that off camera, because all you do is just take it off. You don't really need me to show you that either. It's just an old ring right here. Just wash it up and then put it back with soap. Anyway, that's it on that video.